Day 9 in a third world prison. Technically, it was my fourth day in Central Belize prison. Um, I survived the weekend. It was extremely uneventful and quite boring, actually. Um, I was on lockdown. There's really nothing much going on. The only time you're allowed out of your cell is to shower. And it seemed like Central Belize prison was very serious about our showers. They were very serious about hygiene and keeping us clean, or at least sanitizing us. um, and it was interesting the process. So, to take a shower in Central Belize prison, um, it starts with the night guards doing their morning rounds, and they'll walk down, they'll uh, turn the lights on, 6 a.m., and they walk down, check each of the cells, let people know who is leaving for court that day or has an appointment with a doctor or has an appointment with like a prison administrator. Um, in addition, they pass out medication. So whoever has medications, they'll go to those cells and they give you your medication and they have to sit there and watch you take your medication. Um, and then they actually help us get showered before the day guards or the first shift guards come back, start their day. And so it's basically one prison cell at a time that's let go. And when you walk down to they usually start at one end or the other. They'll either start at the end near where the guards' office is or the very far opposite end. And you'll hear them coming down, their keys are clinking, and they start at the very last cell or the very first cell. You can hear them opening, turning. They have their keys. They open the padlock. They open it up. You can hear them opening prison, the prison cell gate door, and you gotta be expeditious. So you grab your 1 gallon plastic bottle of water. It's tap water, Belize tap water. You grab whatever you have, whether it's prison soap or body. If you have money, you can buy body wash at the prison store, and you have your towel. And what else? I think that's about it, right? That's all you need. Um, and the other thing is, you can't just wear anything. So you have a strict dress code that you have to follow. You have to wear a shirt with sleeves on it. So this shirt was given to me, was one of the shirts I was allowed to wear, but it had a sleeve. So I was allowed to wear a shirt like this. And I have to wear pants. I can't wear short shorts. I have to wear pants that are long. So covering my knee, long shorts or pants that are like capri length. This is what I was allowed to basically wear to the shower. I couldn't wear any revealing clothes, no tank tops, no pajama shorts, no biker shorts, nothing that was really super revealing. So you had to make sure you were dressed appropriately to leave your cell and go down to the shower. And they basically gave you 5 minutes. And what I said this day 1 when I was in Central Belize, the shower I basically learned from people who had been in the prison for a while. The water that came out of the shower head, it was just best that I just not shower with that at all, because the amount of chlorine that was in that water would cause you to break out with like rashes, or eventually your skin would just be so dry and like chapped that eventually it would be painful. So my first day or two, I didn't know this, so I was using the chlorine water to soap up and clean myself, like soap up and lather my body. And then I would take my 1 gallon of water, tap water, and use that to rinse myself off, which could be, I found challenging because 1 gallon isn't really enough to thoroughly rinse you off. So you would just kind of like have to like come up with a strategy. Um, my strategy initially was I would just go ahead and rinse myself off with the shower, the shower head tap water. But then my skin started getting dry and itchy. So I would just avoid that water completely. And I would take my gallon of water, I would twist it out, and I would put it like the walls that separated the shower stalls. There were about 1, 2, 3. There were 3 shower stalls, and the wall between each shower stall just kind of like came up to here, like came up to my ear. So I would place my water bottle on the ledge, the wall between my shower and the shower next to me, and I would just hold it and just tip it over me. So I would stand and then just tip it and just let it pour down on me. That's how I would shower. And I'd rinse my back, rinse my chest, and then eventually I'd step back a little bit and just let it tilt further, stay resting on that wall, let it tilt a little bit more, and then just like let it run down me. But I was never, it was a challenge. It made me understand about water conservation and like the need to be cautious of how much water we are using. Because I realized in the US, I use a lot of water. I use definitely more than 1 gallon to wash and shower. But yeah, so you do it one cell at a time. You have 5 minutes. If you're taking more than 5 minutes, you'll hear the prison guards outside the shower screaming at you. You know, cell, they'll call you by your cell. Cell one is taking, you've been in there more than 5 minutes. Hurry up, hurry up. And you have to be careful about talking. So, especially if you end up going with your best friend or like someone you get along with is next to you in the shower, you'll be chatting while you're showering. But you have to be really careful to do it quietly, because if you're too loud, you're having too much fun, you're laughing, then you get yelled at as well. And I've heard prison guards even going so far as to threatening to put you in the hole if you're consistently taking showers longer than 5 minutes. So it's a challenge because, you know, how do you properly wash your hair and shower in 5 minutes? And when I got the habit, I got more accustomed to Belize Central Prison life. I would wash my hair once a week, usually Saturday or Monday, and I would take one shower. I would pick one shower. So like in the morning, I would just wash my hair because that's all. I just had 1 gallon of water, so I had to somehow like set up my hair. You know, pour a little shampoo, pour a little water, sud my hair up, and then use only 1 gallon to rinse my hair off. And then in the evening, for my second shower, I would actually clean my body. So that was with my second 1 gallon of water. So that was my strategy on how to navigate the shower scene in Central Belize Prison. Yep, and then as soon as you were done, you go back to your cell and they open the gate for the next cell next to you, and then they come down and shower. And they just do that one cell at a time. They walk down to the end, shower, go back to their rooms. When it came to changing, you could not change openly in your cell. You had to be modest. This was a quote-unquote Christian prison, so I would have to go by the toilet, get behind the bed sheet by the toilet, and change my clothes if I wanted to change clothes. I tried not to bring my clothes into the shower because it wasn't the cleanest, you know.